We begin with a major development in a widening financial scandal linked to the Al-Falah University in Faridabad. The Enforcement Directorate has now arrested Jawad Ahmed Siddiqui, chairman of the Al-Falah Group and one of the founding trustees of the Al-Falah Charitable Trust. Siddiqui has been arrested under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act or PMLA after what the Enforcement Directorate calls crucial findings during searches at 19 locations across Delhi, including the university campus and residences of senior trust members. This investigation began after 2 FIRs filed by the Delhi Police Crime Branch, which alleged that Al-Falah University falsely claimed to have NAAC accreditation and misrepresented itself as recognized under UGC Section 12B. It was a claim that gave the institution financial legitimacy and misled thousands of students and parents. The UGC has since clarified that the university is only listed as a state-private university under Section 2F and has never applied for 12B recognition. At the heart of the case is the Al-Falah Charitable Trust, established in the year 1995. The Enforcement Directorate says as Siddiqui, a trustee since inception, acted as the de facto controller of the entire network from the trust to its colleges and the university. The trust expanded rapidly over the years, growth that the ED believes far exceeded its legitimate financial capacity. During the multi-city raids, the ED seized over 48 lakh rupees in cash, digital devices, key documents, and what it describes as clear evidence of several shell companies linked to the trust. The probe alleges that trust funds were diverted to family-owned companies with key construction and catering contracts awarded to firms owned by Siddiqui's wife and children. Enforcement Directorate officials say that the investigation has uncovered multiple layers of money laundering, including fictitious transactions, circular routing of funds, and systematic violations of financial norms. According to them, Siddiqui personally controlled all financial decisions, operated key accounts, and played a direct role in concealing and laundering proceeds of crime. The agency says the evidence is strong enough to establish his involvement, leading to his arrest under Section 19 of the PMLA, or the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Siddiqui is now being produced before the special PMLA court, where the ED is expected to seek custody for further interrogation. We have my colleague Jitendra Sharma now joining us on the phone line with more details. Jitendra ji, बताइए ये जो लेटेस्ट डेवलपमेंट्स है, अल-फलाह यूनिवर्सिटी के चेयरमैन जावेद अहमद सिद्दीकी को गिरफ्तार किया जा रहा है और उसे पीएमएलए कोर्ट के सामने पेश किया जाएगा।
जी बिल्कुल, देखिए गिरफ्तारी से पहले अभी फिलहाल उनका मेडिकल हो रहा है और उसके तुरंत बाद साकेत कोर्ट के अंदर जो स्पेशल पीएमएलए कोर्ट है वहां पर उनको पेश किया जाएगा और जहां ईडी की कोशिश होगी ज्यादा से ज्यादा दिन की जो रिमांड है वो जावेद अहमद सिद्दीकी की ले सके। दरअसल सितंबर 1995 ये जो अल-फलाह चैरिटेबल ट्रस्ट है इसकी स्थापना की गई थी। जावेद अहमद सिद्दीकी इसके फाउंडर मेंबर थे और जो आरोप है उनके ऊपर वो ये कि दरअसल इन्होंने शेल कंपनीज के जरिए जो अल-फलाह यूनिवर्सिटी का पैसा था उसको घुमाया है। इसके अलावा अल-फलाह यूनिवर्सिटी का जो कंस्ट्रक्शन का काम है और जो कैटरिंग का काम है वो अपने पत्नी और बच्चों की कंपनियों को दिए। कहीं ना कहीं जो पैसा था वो परिवार के पास ही पहुंचा था। ऐसे में ये जो तमाम अनियमितताएं थी वित्तीय, इनको देखते हुए आज 19 लोकेशंस थी अल-फलाह यूनिवर्सिटी से जुड़ी, उनके ट्रस्टी से जुड़ी, उन तमाम ठिकानों पर रेड की गई है। वहां से 48 लाख के करीब कैश, इसके अलावा कुछ डिजिटल डिवाइस है, साथ ही कुछ महत्वपूर्ण दस्तावेज और शेल कंपनी से जुड़े कुछ दस्तावेज है जो वहां से बरामद किए गए हैं। तो कहीं ना कहीं पूरी जो फॉर्जरी है वो सामने आ चुकी है। जांच के दौरान ये भी पता चला कि NAAC और इसके अलावा UGC से इस यूनिवर्सिटी को कोई मान्यता नहीं थी, जबकि जो स्टूडेंट्स थे, उनके जो यहाँ पर मेडिकल के स्टूडेंट थे, उनके पेरेंट्स को गलत जानकारी दी गई, उनसे पैसा ऐंठा गया और उसके बाद उस पैसे को गलत तरीके से शेल कंपनीज के जरिए घुमाया गया। तो कहीं ना कहीं पूरी वित्तीय अनियमितता सामने आ चुकी है। PMLA के तहत जावेद सिद्दीकी की गिरफ्तारी कर ली गई है। कुछ देर में भी इन्हें कोर्ट के सामने पेश किया जाएगा। जी।
The Enforcement Directorate has arrested Jawad Ahmed Siddiqui, chairman of the Al-Falah Group and one of the founding trustees of the Al-Falah Charitable Trust. And Siddiqui has been arrested under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act after what the ED calls crucial findings during searches at 19 locations across Delhi, including the university campus and residences of senior trust members. We are getting you the latest on the investigation into the Red Fort blast in Delhi, which has unveiled now that Al-Falah University, from where the key accused and the suicide bomber, Dr. Umar Nabi, came from. The Al-Falah Group's chairman has been arrested, and the question of what happens to Al-Falah University now still remains. We have Jitendra Sharma still with us. Jitendra ji, बताइए, अभी ये भी नज़र आ रहा है कि अल-फलाह यूनिवर्सिटी की जो रजिस्ट्रेशन थी, जो एक्रेडिटेशन थी, वो भी झूठ थी और इसकी वजह से अभी अल-फलाह यूनिवर्सिटी को बंद भी किया जा सकता है।
जी बिल्कुल, देखिए गलत तरीके से एनएसी की मान्यता प्राप्त होने का इनके द्वारा दावा किया गया था, एक्रेडिटेशन होने का। इसके अलावा यूजीसी के सेक्शन 12B के तहत मान्यता होने की झूठी जानकारी जो यहाँ पर मेडिकल स्टूडेंट्स थे उनके पेरेंट्स को दी गई और फर्जी तरीके से उनके एडमिशन करवाए गए। तो कहीं ना कहीं ये जो यूनिवर्सिटी थी इसको कोई भी मान्यता नहीं थी, कोई एक्रेडिटेशन इसको नहीं था, बावजूद इसके यूनिवर्सिटी चल रही थी। तो ऐसे में सबसे पहले दिल्ली पुलिस की क्राइम ब्रांच ने 2 मुकदमे इसके खिलाफ दर्ज किए थे और उसके बाद उन्हीं मुकदमों को आधार बनाते हुए ईडी ने पीएमएलए के तहत मुकदमा दर्ज किया और इसमें अब फिलहाल जावेद अहमद सिद्दीकी, जो कि चेयरमैन है, ट्रस्टी है, फाउंडर मेंबर है इस यूनिवर्सिटी के, उनकी गिरफ्तारी कर ली गई है। जी
जितेंद्र जी, अभी बताइए कि इन्वेस्टिगेशन आगे जाते हुए क्या खबर मिल रहा है आपको, क्योंकि अभी जो इनका अरेस्ट हुआ है इन्हें कोर्ट में पेश किया जाएगा, इन्हें इनकी कस्टडी ली जाएगी और इंटरोगेशन किया जाएगा, लेकिन दिल्ली फोर्ट टेरर ब्लास्ट के हिसाब से वो पूरा इन्वेस्टिगेशन हिसाब से आगे क्या बढ़ने वाली है इधर से?
जी बिल्कुल, देखिए दोनों जांच बिल्कुल अलग है। अल-फलाह यूनिवर्सिटी जिस तरीके से तमाम अनियमितता को बरतते हुए चल रही थी, ये जांच अलग है, जबकि जो दिल्ली ब्लास्ट है लाल किले के सामने, उसकी जो जांच है वो अलग है। ये जितने भी फाइनेंशियल से जुड़े जितने भी केसेस हैं अल-फलाह यूनिवर्सिटी के, वो फिलहाल ईडी देख रही है पीएमएलए के तहत, और जो ब्लास्ट की तफ्तीश है वो एनआईए कर रही है। लेकिन जो क्राइम ब्रांच ने पहले मुकदमा दर्ज किया था उसी को आधार बनाकर ईडी ने अपना पीएमएलए के तहत मुकदमा दर्ज किया, और जब यूनिवर्सिटी के जो फोरेंसिक ऑडिट होता है वो करवाया, उसके दौरान ये तमाम तरीके जो गड़बड़ियां थी अकाउंट्स के अंदर वो सामने आई। उसी के बाद ये बड़ी कार्रवाई यूनिवर्सिटी के अगेंस्ट फिलहाल की गई है ईडी के द्वारा।
Stay with us, Jitendra ji. We have Sneha Koshi as well joining us from the newsroom. Sneha, talk to us. This is a major development in the overall scheme of things in terms of the investigation into the Delhi terror attack, and also the fact that this entire university is now crumbling from the foundations of it all, because not only is the new university not accredited, now you have the chairman of the trust which runs the university being arrested for money laundering, no less.
That's right. This is huge, Krishna. And remember, all of this started with a lot of connections in terms of this white collar, white terror module, white collar terror module, as it were, having connections with Al-Falah. Many of the doctors who were detained eventually, they were either practicing or studying in Al-Falah University, had connections with Al-Falah University. So a lot of questions had started emerging, and that's how the probe really tightened around Al-Falah. And over the last 24 hours, you've had multiple raids in connection with Al-Falah, whether it be at the Al-Falah University, that's the ED raids. Also, the raids at promoters of Al-Falah University. It was during these raids that it was found that there are even at least 9 shell companies that were linked to the Al-Falah University. That itself became a huge point of concern, and that's where the PMLA cases or money laundering cases have been now filed. And you have even the chairman, the founder, as well as the chairman himself being picked up and taken into custody by the Enforcement Directorate. So huge questions. Remember, all of this started after the Delhi terror attack that really shook most of us, Krishna. And one after the other, the doctors, their connect to Al-Falah University, the terror doctors, as we have been calling them, literally shocked. And, many people started calling this the terror den, as it were. And it was at that time that the university had gone ahead and said that they were accredited. And within just about 24 hours again, there was a negation of this claim by NAC, by the accreditation board themselves, saying that these are fabricated claims and it has not been true at all. So that was one of the first points where questions were raised at Al-Falah University, as it were. Big concerns at this point, the fact that one, it was a university, two, there were several doctors that were linked to this university that were under the scanner. Three, about how there seems to be an entire white collar terror modus operandi that was functioning, and it was the Al-Falah University at the center of it all. Has big concerns, Krishna, and you have finally the chairman. This was as many probe agencies, sources from the probe agencies were indicating this was bound to happen because there were concerns about, one, the money laundering and the funding that was behind Al-Falah University, and that seems to be now out in the open as well, Krishna.
That's right. It has been laid bare as to what was the financial details that went into Al-Falah University now being laid bare, and here you have the chairman himself being arrested. Sneha, also this also moves the investigation forward, the overall investigation forward considerably, because the association between Al-Falah Charitable Trust and Al-Falah University and the New Delhi terror attack is now as clear. Every single major suspect has come from Al-Falah University. From the suicide bomber to the other key suspects. All of them were people either who was influenced by Dr. Umar al-Nabi, the suicide bomber, or by others, and hence now the question is what happens to so many people who have sent their children to this college, thinking that this is a legitimate college, this is just like any other college, and now it's also their lives that is going to be affected.
Krishna, very important question, really. And, there's altogether another angle that we can get into about how there are concerns about how educational institutions are functioning in our country, but we'll leave that for another time. And as you pointed out, big questions would be raised about the, families that have sent their children, their loved ones to study in universities like this. And here's where the danger is, Krishna, because as the probe agencies have been conducting these probes, there are details that have been accessed by News9. And one of those details was about how Dr. Umar was not only somebody who was a suicide attacker himself, not only who was somebody who was well-spoken and erudite in terms of the suicide attacker, the video that really News9 accessed just today for that matter, but it's also in terms of how he actively radicalized peers. That's the information that has come in from the probe agencies over the last few days as well, about how Dr. Umar actively radicalized his peers, juniors to him, those within the university, and as well as outside, and about how even Dr. Umar got in touch with one of the students from the Northeast in the university as well in an attempt to radicalize the student as well. So these are these details that have emerged. Of course, we are right now piecing everything together because, we all are getting pieces of details out at this time from the probe agencies. But Krishna, big concerns about radicalization in these universities that have been taking place and the huge white-collar nexus as it seems to emerge.
Sneha Koshida joining us for that big story. Thank you, Sneha, for joining us even as we continue to get the latest details on to the investigation into Al-Falah University.